Happy Friday. So today we are going to talk about how to process green boards. So specifically boards like this, these happen to be perforated. They don't necessarily, these aren't always perforated. These are actually the backs of Cat 5 jacks, Cat 5, Cat 6 jacks. But as you see, they are unpopulated, so nothing on the surface. The only thing that is in this is the fiberglass, the gel and products for that, and then the copper inside. So that is specifically what we're trying to get out of this product. It's typically about 40% plus copper, so there's some value in here. And what we find is that a lot of customers say, this is most of the copper in this ends up in their trash. So we're gonna show you how to get this copper out. It's very brittle, and fiberglass boards are also very abrasive on equipment. So the reason why we use the equipment that we use is because it holds up a little bit better than granulation plants. And we're gonna show you today how to do that. So we typically go directly into a vertical mill. And that's the first step, conveyor into a vertical mill. If you are doing populated boards, if you're doing boards that have chips and other things on them, then you could go through a shredder first, and that shredder would break it down and make it a little bit easier to digest for the vertical mill. However, for this stuff here, and even for smaller printed circuit boards, you can go straight into the vertical mill. If you had larger boards that have heat sinks and that kind of stuff, then you want to do shredder and eddy current to pull off those items first. But in this case here, we're talking about smaller boards and boards that are unpopulated like this. So vertical mill. After the vertical mill, we're going to go right into a screener. I like to do a single deck screener, which gives us two separations. So we have our fines, and then our other material is going to go down to our DLAM. So in the fines here, we're going to have copper, and we're going to have some of the circuit board dust, so some of that fiber, but it's really going to be like a pulp. It's going to be really, really fine. I think I might have some of this stuff here. So you can see here, it just really fine dust as it's going through. So this is from that. What happens in that dust is you have some fine copper as well mixed in with it, and you're going to pull that off here. The reason we want to pull it off here is you don't want that copper and that dust to keep going through the system unnecessarily, because now you're taking that fiberglass dust, which is basically glass, going through another mill for no reason. So this way here, we're removing it. We have this material here is ready to be separated. So you could go from here directly onto an air table. Some people just store it. They'll save it and store it, and they'll process it later in a batch feed. So next step is your DLAM mill, also called the turbo. So what we'll do here is this here gives you some of the same results as this, but multiplied. So what we have here in the DLAM mill is a bunch of paddles, and you've seen us do some videos about this before. This really breaks down the material into little balls, really everything, all the copper that's in here is going to get delaminated. And from here we go on to another screener. So we do the same process. We're repeating the process that we did up here. So screener, and then here really it's up to you. Do you want to go onto one air table? If you go to one air table, you're going to have a fraction that is that fine fraction. So it's going to be the same fraction as this. So we want to go to another air table, but how do you do this? Do you combine these two? These are the same material. Do you combine them into one air table and save a little bit there with the hopper in front of it? So there's a few different options that you could do there, depending on your budget, depending on what you're trying to do. And then if you do a double deck would give you 3 fractions. You could do another air table over here. Not as necessary with unpopulated boards. If you have the populated boards and you'll have some white metal, a little bit more brass, other items, then that's when this comes into play, and it might work out better to do that. So anyways, hope this video was helpful. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one. Happy Friday.
All right, let's try one more time.
My boards to snap in half are going to be smaller and smaller every time.
We're going to need to go out there and grab some more boards for you.